Between a rock and a stick. Debra Crone Yates.
Standing on the 5th fairway at River Ridge Golf Course in Salem, Washington, I'm struck by a thought, as I usually am at this point in the game. Who in the world thought it up? 5 shots later, as I watched my favorite ball slide over the too fast green, off the other side and into the lake, splash. I remember those prophetic words friends told me when I joined River Ridge. Take lots of balls. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, honored guests, I'm a glutton for punishment when it comes to this game of golf. Something I find myself playing again after a many-year hiatus. And it was that reoccurring thought that popped up after every bad shot, every bad swing, every bad putt. Who invented it? I had to find out. After a little bit of Google research, I discovered that the first mention of golf was in 1297 in the Netherlands, my fatherland. It turns out that it was called kolf, which is a Flemish word for a club or a stick. And it was thought that Colvin of Holland and Chloe of Belgium came up with the idea of taking a stick and batting rocks around natural rabbit runs and trails and sand dunes of the countryside. And as I reflected on that, well, isn't that the way it's played today? Well, at least the way I'm playing it. Now, the next mention of golf comes up in 1360s in Belgium, where the Council of Brussels banned the game of golf. If you were caught playing golf, you would be fined 20 shillings and have to forfeit your overcoat. Now, that seems like a pretty stiff fine in Belgium in 1300s. But I imagine a whole underground clandestine movement of determined golfers sneaking around to play golf while beleaguered and harried bureaucrats chase them down to get their fine. Now, what the game of golf that Colvin and Chloe invented lacked probably was what the Scots brought to it. That's the hole. The pesky hole. I can easily see a very bored shepherd boy sitting in the Scottish Highlands with nothing better to do as his flock stood grazing around than to amuse himself with a stick and a rock and bat rocks into holes. And this is where the game really became popular. It was on the eastern coast of Scotland in the Kingdom of Fife, and it took off. It became so popular, it became a detriment. When Scotland was preparing to defend itself against the English invasion, King James implored Parliament to ban this game. You see, so many men were neglecting their military training to play golf. Their military training was archery practice. Now, can you imagine preferring to take a stick and bat a rock around the countryside instead of standing calmly in front of your target, pulling your arrow back with your bow and letting it fly? Perhaps this is why Belgium banned it 100 years earlier. Boys and their toys. Now, Mary Queen of Scots got herself in hot water because she defied the ban and played golf. And this was even more scandalous because it was considered totally inappropriate for a woman to play golf. As you know, it's an acronym for gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. But this is where the rules of golf became formalized. The Leaf Rules, and they consisted of 13 articles, which consisted of really good gems such as, if you are within a club's length of the hole, you must tee your ball. Folks, if I could get within a club's length of a hole any day, I'd be happy, happy, happy. If your ball should strike a person, a dog, a horse, or any such thing, you must play your ball where it lies. Note to self, leave that horse at home. Now, the rule that makes me look like I'm playing for high score instead of low is if you should draw your club as to make a swing and do so for proceed into the swing is to be accounted, it counts. What's that mean? I think I figured it out. You whiff the ball. You take a mighty swing, and you're looking off in the distance to see where that ball went, and then you realize it's still sitting on the tee. And that's really embarrassing, especially if anyone is watching. Somebody is always watching. Well, in the 1600s, it left the borders of Scotland, moved into England. And by the 19th century, it had moved into other parts of the world. And by the 20th century, it had run rampant into the United States. Mark Twain was alleged to have snarked, "Golf, a good walk, spoiled." Now here I stand, a modern day woman, with my modern day stick, and my modern day rock, much the way I imagined Mary Queen of Scots once stood, without the crown or the royal garments. I'm about to tee off at the 6th hole, 6th fairway, a short 130-yard drive to the green, a water hazard. Just this side of the very, very, very tall trees, a little lake, and just south of the golfers heading to the next fairway, water. And I recall those prophetic words my friend said. Take lots of balls.